Welcome along, everyone, to the Hindsight Podcast. Great to have everyone here because we had to bring Ini. We dragged Ini to come here. Apparently, I tell you a story. Last night, Ini was he preempted an emergency that didn't exist. So the guys dragged him. I was actually surprised to see him walk into the studio today. So it is good to have you here. I like the
I don't suffer for these Lagos. These boys.
I like the shirt. And
your native is
yeah,
it's nice. Beautiful.
Somebody said I shouldn't wait to shoot it. I'll go home naked.
I just your this thing. Okay.
that day in the end though, don't spoil the this.
I'm not gonna do wardrobe malfunction
For my zippo.
on set.
Make I true. Come go back.
Rufai, it's good to have you here as well.
Yep.
I heard that you have why you cover hair?
Why
you cover hair? Hey, you have a new style coming up. I've seen you talking to some stylists and whatnot.
but it's
What's
not
the
ready
plan?
yet.
Lakunle.
Or cooking.
Yeah.
Cooking well, please.
Or cooking.
They didn't believe in
This is yeah, so they did, but God did. This is Indomie 100 naira, pepper
Cooking
2000.
well. Cooking well. I hate that round fish, man.
Yeah, with round fish.
This guy like
Indomie
that.
But pepper 2000.
That round
Choke
fish
anybody.
is the hardest thing you can ask me to eat. Yeah, it's too hard, man. Ivy, I see a new phone on the table. What's Kilo Shelley? What's going on? You don't buy
For
new
this
phone.
economy, you be ritually.
You get between
Gifts,
you have changed to phone. You have used.
What are you doing that we don't know?
You get.
See, make I tell you something.
Now the
If
back
you
camera
see
be
babe,
this.
see, make I tell you something. If you see babe, if babe tell you, if you see new gadgets with babe tell you say this is a gift. At least they see 90% trust say na gift. When man
Say na
they
gift.
tell you say na gift,
But you don't.
My brother, na lie.
How much you pay on top of the old one? Just
Na lie.
confide in me.
No.
He said confide in me in front of camera.
I don't pay anything.
Say na gift.
I don't pay anything.
IBK, you walk on the make some
Now
of
why
us.
you
You walk on the make some
why
of
you
us
tell
that
us?
feel
Didn't tell you
inadequate.
because if he lamba you,
Because we never get this kind of gift.
you get.
Which one say you never get which kind of gift? You know who give me?
Who give you?
Who?
Na my brother now.
Oh.
You
Na
say
my
brother, you say cousin.
And brother,
Same
no
thing,
man.
na
now.
same thing.
Say na my brother.
It
IBK they lie now.
He stays
Nah, lie.
outside the country.
Nothing where IBK
Does
if
he
you tell
stay
me.
outside of the
Na my
country?
brother. No, he's here now.
Okay.
But he's
So
a big boy.
you are not the ritualist.
But he's
your
a big
brother.
boy. He's a big boy.
You are not the ritualist. Your brother is the ritualist.
There's
On top this phone, this small phone.
there's a popular there's a meme.
I mean, don't let them
You
collect
all
my
see-
phone like swim you know. I mean, because they track this show. If like say those boys they watch this, they watch this show too.
Speaking of Swimpy, get well soon. Shout out to you.
Yeah, shout out to Slippy.
heard
Slippy don't go wear. This is what he thought. Slippy don't go wear native come show again. Come like that native way wear. They say he get money.
Swimpy, if you don't enter that cafe, you don't tell that guy. Say, have you seen my pocket?
He say enter which car. As the Uber come, he go stay window. Ask her, please, do you know how to podcast? If you do, please cancel the ride.
Say, let me show you. Say this is us now. This is us now. Say, look at our Instagram. You get that guy don't look and say, okay, maybe they don't come to say, you don't come to say, let me just buy something here. I've been shooting all day.
On my flex,
Like I don't check him profile. Say,
This guy, they okay.
yeah, they all
I
right.
flex one police guy today. As in, I know they do one because being a journalist, you go be like say, anywhere. So the Uber guy they carry me. They say, I want pass one place. I say, guy, pass anywhere for Lagos. Just apart from being the sport journalist, I'm a who did my back now. Now I know who did my back as team manager for Lake United. Now understand who I fit call and who I supposed to call.
Just imagine
Can
this.
you imagine
Just imagine this riffraff.
I just the blue flag. So anyway, so we just go sharp. I knew that they were going to stop me because of the way I look and that my handbag.
He say contraband.
The guy don't
He
resist.
say
This guy na G boy. So he just say make I come down. See me the guy park. I come look and I say he say you want to check my bag. I say why would you check my bag? Like for what? He say who am I talking to? I just show him my ID card. Say I'm a journalist and you don't have the right to check my bag. The guy be like, which journalist are you don't understand the work. I can check anybody. I say bring your warrant first. Let me see it. Before you can. He said do I know that they can only show you warrant when they are coming to your house? I said who told you that? I said don't let me make this call. You know what's in my mind there? Because I know say Biola no go pick call. Now you be our own call. Now you be our own call.
Make you be
I don't
talking with
if I say I don't call you, you gonna say, hey bro, what's up? What you do?
You don't cut now. By now, you're not this send.
But now we're not give you shout out.
Guy, I just
Free IBK.
Free Boko and Luko. Yeah, you have to.
I just say, make the guy know say, oh yeah, call that your guy. I want hear that.
No, but one of the biggest flex.
But no, like,
know-
the guy say make I dey go last. When he see just say make I dey go.
No, so this thing happens all the time. It's funny that since I did my hair, right, I haven't been stopped by the police.
No, because this
Like-
is. I bet you. See, let me tell you something. If it was, and I wanted to say today is 20th of October, so is the anniversary of the
EndSARS Memorial.
It's the EndSARS Memorial, and before EndSARS, and that's the thing. People talk about what EndSARS signifies and whether or not anything happened, whether or not he that particular movement.
If there was a paradigm shift, whatsoever.
Before EndSARS, I guarantee you'd have had run-ins.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I guarantee you,
Yeah.
you'd have had run-ins. Even
Many times.
then you didn't need to look like
I-
Travis Scott.
No, obviously. I don't have hair. I define hair. And they stopped me multiple times.
Yeah.
They stopped me multiple times. And, because you have a work ID card, it saves you from issues. Then I didn't have a work ID card. Pre-EndSARS.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't have a work ID card, but I had videos.
Me say now YouTube
You
and they
know,
always
I
looking.
had videos. So this guy stops me at somewhere off Kilo and says, you look like some guy we've been looking for. I say, Baba, look for how? So what do you do? I say, I'm a journalist. I say, how can you prove that? I put out my phone, showed a couple of videos. They watched the first one, watched the second one. I say, they yarn like Oyibo. Have you lived outside the country before? I said, no. So it happened a few times. But EndSARS just came and it was clearly a paradigm shift. Clearly something changed about Nigeria that day. People say, it was, there were casualties, and I mean
There were casualties.
we talk about those casualties with a lot of grief in our minds, but we appreciate the work those people did for Nigeria, and we commemorate that memorial, that service that those people rendered for Nigeria, because Nigeria has been slightly a better place because of those people. Because
I agree.
What police used to do in this country is scary.
But my own is that searching people's bag, is it right?
No, it's not right.
Because
It's
the
not
guy
right.
was saying that you only need warrant where you have to go to people's house. That
No,
it is-
so I mean,
because I honestly don't understand. Because the guy was trying to prove
You
to
know,
me
a
that
policeman has no right to stop you on the road to search your car, except he has
so they're conducting a.
they are conducting. There's something they are
Except
looking
there's
for
something
someone.
happening.
but
How-
this guy
it's
kept
not-
insisting that I was wrong.
No,
I didn't just want
bro,
to push it.
obviously, it's one of those things where they are trying to operate outside the ambit of the law. So what I tell people is you speak about EndSARS, and it's funny, not funny, but it's a nice coincidence. Today's the memorial. I passed through the toll gate and I saw the blatant disgraceful show of force at the gates, and you see people get robbed every day, and you don't do anything. The people the policemen that are there, I've seen at least, by my count, I was just driving past, I could see at least 200 people there, right?
Wow.
With incredible gears and everything like that. And people talk about our police don't have enough enough gear. But for me, I think, like Rufai said, the important thing is you would always find one or two cases where in your case, for example, you get stopped, you get pulled over, and let me check your bag. But across the landscape, right? There are policemen now that don't see anymore a hairstyle as synonymous with crime.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So when I say they don't stop me and say pull over. They stop me and be like, I wind down, and they're like, Baba, for now, how you did?
So there's a bit
it's
of a change of mentality.
Yeah.
They know that if they stop you on the basis that profiling has, if you were at 100% or 120%, that profiling has gone down to at least 40% thereabout.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So I think they'll stop you. Maybe they might look for other things and all that stuff. But yeah,
Inner light.
And it's I mean, it's God rest the soul of the dead. It's incredible the sacrifice that those people made.
Yeah.
the guy that was shot at Oshogbo.
That was Jimo. Yeah.
Jimo. I saw a clip of his parents, right? So it's the guy went to, is the last born of his parents, of his father. Went to work actually that day, came back, didn't even join whatever that was happening.
It was just
somewhere his dad narrated exactly what happened. And for them, the most heartbreaking thing is that the police station where the officers that did this came from kept on saying they didn't, no police officer had guns on the day. So it's the denial, it's the denying, the obvious, and it's quite painful. So yeah, it's incredible, the sacrifice of these people. The same thing, people that died at the toll gate. Now I am very numb to, if I hear anyone just question that did Lekki toll gate situation happen, I switch, and that person, like, I'm very numb to that person, like, immediately.
Oh yeah,
that's how bad it is.
Same thing for me, man. Like,
immediately, if you question it, I'm done with you.
The moment you start trying to rationalize or try to analyze and say, let's
I'm done with you.
You can't analyze that. And that's it. And people that know me very well, the people that follow me on social media know I am. It's one of the people say it's a weakness these days to be that passionate about social justice. It is one of the things I am very passionate about. And I've tried. People called me and said, look, you need to, you need to unlook a bit more on Twitter and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, I don't know how to exist like that. Right? And on the risk of trying to censor me, I find that you're better off dealing with me professionally, away from the things I am passionate about. Good governance, proper leadership, and all that kind of stuff. We might, have a run-in in that regard. So yeah, our thoughts are there with everyone who lost their lives. Pelumi Onifade, who also got shot, and that's one of the most
I think that was in Lagos.
Horrific things that I've heard, and the person whose aides carried out that act, is still walking free. It is one of the things that when people say, what is justice, and you say, but it's 2 years ago, but justice can only be forgotten when justice has been served. Yeah. So until that, shout out to all the people that are organizing as well. Fowles the bad guy, all the people, these are, when you speak about people like Fowles, and there are a lot more people that are organizing, but you see real humanity, away from the celebrity, away from the fame and everything. That's real humanity, and I think it's special. Speaking of which, I think that one of the things that hasn't been spoken about enough is the flooding incidences across the country. Wow. I think as a people, we haven't done enough. Maybe because we're constantly bombarded with bad news that we are sort of numb sometimes to some of the things that are horrendous or horrific in other parts of the world. But the stories I see from the flooding, in Lokoja, I hear that Lagos State also issued a relocating order as well to people in some areas. I heard K2 was one of the places that there might be a dam that will be open. I think it's the Oyum Dam in Kwara State, I imagine. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I hear that dam might be open to, allow the water to, find its way to the Atlantic, and there might be a potential flooding in some areas of Lagos. So I saw that, and my heart just like froze for a bit. I was just like, this. I always thought that since Ebola happened in Africa, the way I approach pandemics or crisis is that it's just a doorstep from me.
Yeah.
Because when Ebola happened, I heard the story in December the previous year, and I said, Libya, where was it? Liberia, something like that. I'm like, we're here, Lagos here. Bro, a month after, Ebola was at our doorsteps. Since then, I know when I think about a global pandemic or whatever it is, or people's affliction, I always think that in the next, this thing is just here. So, whatever can be done to alleviate the suffering of people. I see people's houses, people's lives. When people build houses, it's their life's earnings, it's their life savings submerged underwater. How do you get that back? So it's incredible. I feel very sad
So
about that. as well.
is that due to poor drainages or?
No, it's not drainage. That's more.
No, it's. I think it's a lot deeper. We've talked about. I think it's to simply call it a disease is bad governance. What is incredible to me is how helpless Nigerians are. I
don't think there's been a national address to that effect.
Yeah, I haven't been to a lot of, countries, but I can't imagine if there are citizens of some other countries that will be as helpless as Nigerians are. Because it is actually incredible how helpless. This flooding thing has taken about 600 lives.
And that is conservative numbers.
Yeah, and I tell you, that is a national crisis. And under normal circumstance, I don't think it is also because Nigerians do not know that these things are happening, or Nigerians do not know that this thing is happening, and they can protest, or they can this, or they can speak on it. I think they do, but they know that, well, if I speak up about it, what's going to happen? If I protest about it, what's going to happen? So the helplessness is not just happening to the person, the direct victim, but even the onlookers are as helpless as the direct victims. So it is incredible, and it's downright bad governance. Elections next year. You have politicians gallivanting everywhere, making donations and making declarations. It is absolutely disgraceful. It's just disgraceful.
If you're disappointed that we haven't started the podcast today on a more bubbly note, which has become a signature for the good fellas here, you might have. I mean, you have to live with the good and the bad in many ways. I always thought that things that are happening around us. What we do here for us is this is one of the best moments of my week, to be honest. I come here, I have a great time. I'm going to have a good laugh with this gentleman. And it's also important to make sure that we are aware and conscious of the things happening around us. So look around you and, lend a voice to whatever is happening around you. But God rest the souls of all the people that passed away. And we can officially start the podcast, flip the page, basically, with the people in our minds. And let's start off with a story. Of course, we've had Premier League games this weekend, but rather this midweek, which is interesting. We haven't seen you in 2 weeks, no, IBK?
Yeah.
2 weeks. So I'm sure you have a couple of bangers for us. But I want to start off with the United game. And Ronaldo,
I just knew that was
the Ronaldo thing.
I was going to be.
I personally always think that with football players like Cristiano, Messi, all these people who have beyond reasonable doubt, proven that they're genius and they're generational. What Ronaldo has done will not be witnessed in another 50 years, thereabout, 100 maybe. You always have to give them a long rope because they've earned that long rope. Yeah? But there comes a point where you have to also check the indiscretions of people. And in the scheme of things, I am a nobody in terms of Ronaldo. I mean this conversation about Cristiano. But that's why we're here, right? We do a podcast, for our budding community, and it's always nice to have this back and forth conversation. So if you're listening, you can share your thoughts as well as to what you think. But I felt, and I told Rufai this yesterday as well, that I think Ronaldo set himself up for the problems he's in at the moment. When preseason starts and a new manager has joined the football club, what you have to realize is that the person doesn't know you, and you've got to go there, head there, and show why he needs to respect you. The moment Ronaldo decided not to join preseason, right, he put himself at his disadvantage with the manager already. So, Ten Hag, and I think Biola Kazim tweeted it most perfectly, Ten Hag owes Ronaldo no respect, right? Especially off the back of the kind of tumultuous 4 weeks of preseason. Because what Ronaldo did in preseason was basically make the preseason about him. At every other press conference, Ten Hag was being bombarded with questions about Ronaldo. Cristiano. Yeah. When you're a football manager, and I haven't been one, but I imagine in every walk of life that when you're trying to settle into something, you don't want that type of distraction that could ultimately usurp your time there. So what Ten Hag has had to deal with in the first 3 months of his reign at United is balancing what has made him successful and trying to fit in this individual that has made it clearly difficult for him to choose him in the team. I think that Ronaldo has shown a lack of respect to Ten Hag, but also to his teammates. And there is also a growing sense that he thinks that he is more important than the football club. We sit down here all the time, you know. I mean, we've got to use the same stick. You know, Kylian Mbappe. What's the... If we sat down here last week and said, you know, Kylian his excesses need to be cut down. You know, then Cristiano, I mean, it's about time. Someone said, look, what he's done there is disrespectful. If you lose a game, it is more important to stay in the venue. If you're winning, you have to make it clear that you are part of the process. So let's just paint the hypothetical scenario. Tomorrow, Cristiano is put in the team. What do you think the teammates think about him? If I'm playing with you and I know that you are here to serve yourself, I don't want to pass the ball to you. That's the truth.
And which is very dangerous at this point. And the manager, I wish Antonio Conte was manager of Man United, or maybe Jose Mourinho at this time, you know, because those are the kind of managers that you feel will look him eyeball to eyeball
want to make their points
and tell him to get out. And I think Ronaldo, you put it in a very good way. Ronaldo has been outright disrespectful, and no one is questioning his ability, but his character here is clearly out of place, out of line. And Ronaldo is a GOAT. I know how frustrated he is that he's not getting in, but when your team is winning an important game like that against Tottenham side who are third on the table, and you've walked out on the team, what you're trying to tell me or tell the world is, I'm not happy that we won without me. And that's really bad. If your team lost and you were frustrated, I can still take that. But if your team lost,
I can understand
the fact that you're a winner.
Yeah,
you're frustrated.
Involved, yeah.
You feel if you were on the pitch, you would have done one thing or two.
Different. Yeah, exactly.
But to do what he did yesterday, if I was manager, he'll never play for the club again. If Sir Alex Ferguson was manager, he would never kick a ball at the club again. And I can tell you that for free.
And I think another school of thought yesterday, someone was saying that he started about 3 or 2 games before that. And in fact, people predicted I wasn't going to start against Spurs because of the fact that...
Did you hear what Yubi said? Yeah. Did you hear what Yubi said? Ronaldo is great. But every manager, more so a new manager who goes to a club, once you go to a club, you know, you talk to people who go into a new job mid-season, you know, halfway into a season. Managers will always tell you, I'm looking forward to the preseason. I want to go into the season with my method.
Read the riot act.
You know, get the players to understand. Because when you walk into a club mid-season, it's very hard to change things. It's very hard to say, okay, I don't want you to be my captain. Oh, I don't want you to play. It's easy to go in and say, okay, let's go according to what is there. I want to
start with.
Once you start a preseason, the manager wants the players who start the preseason with him to play the games. When a player stays away from preseason, also a big player like Ronaldo, and then at the start of the season, you know, saunters into preseason, plays one preseason game, and expects to start week in, week out because he's Cristiano Ronaldo. That is blatantly unacceptable.
I'm just going to read, because, you know, Biola tweeted something and I thought it was very astute, right? And you could, look, there's room to disagree with that if you're listening as well or watching. He said, I understand Ronaldo's frustrations, but, you know, Ten Hag owes him no respect. He was extremely disrespectful to Ten Hag, a new manager, by choosing not to come in for pre-season, and cannot now moan about being disrespected. If you're going to do something like that, and this is the kill, if you're going to stage that kind of front, you've got to leave the club.
But Ronaldo did not turn up for pre-season out of disrespect. He was. First of all, it was reported.
We sold the narrative that he had a family issue.
There were family problems.
He was dealing with.
Yeah.
Granted, but I can take that. Same thing that happened with Aubameyang. You know, Aubameyang. You know, everyone. You know, every time. You know, Arteta said, "This guy is blatantly disrespecting me." And it's not good for the young players. It's not about him. If I had, and Arteta will tell you, if I had players in the dressing room, if Thierry Henry was in this dressing room, Martin Keown, Sol Campbell, you know, Patrick Vieira, I won't worry because he would just be a drop of water in the ocean.
We're trying to build a culture here.
but you are the biggest player in the dressing room, and you have Saka, you have Tien, you have younger players. You cannot allow that.
You make a good point. What Aubameyang did, maybe he did some other things that were wrong, but on that particular instance of when Aubameyang went away, Arteta was wrong. It was his mother that was sick.
No. It wasn't. Rufai,
maybe he did some other things.
You see referees do this. A referee gives a guy a yellow card for a tackle that is not a yellow card offense, and then he does this, and then he does this 1, 2, 3,
but
cumulative.
When
Arteta took the decision to kick Aubameyang out, it wasn't because of that instance. It wasn't because of that.
That can be true, but a referee cannot go and give a guy a yellow or a red on something that doesn't warrant a card or a foul or whatever. What I'm saying is,
Rufai, you're not getting me.
The referee will be senseless.
No, Rufai, you're not getting me.
I get you. You are not listening to me.
I will listen.
If a referee looks away,
my point is, Rufai. My point is, when there is a yellow card, there are yellow card offenses. The referee, you make the first yellow card offense. The referee obviously uses his discretion and looks away. You do another one. He says, "Oh, it's too early in the game." And then you make another tackle
that's not even worth it.
In isolation.
Yes.
The referee cannot give you a yellow card for that.
But it's a foul.
Fine. So he gives you a yellow card because he thinks
he has been warning
cumulatively.
I agree. That's what I'm saying.
That's the point.
But the referee cannot go there and pick something that's not a foul and say because
of course,
which is the point I'm making with this Aubameyang situation. It is his mother.
2 weeks before. No, I understand that.
Whether you like it or not, it's going to go away.
Hold on a sec.
But Ronaldo's case is different from this.
Ronaldo's case, he just lost a child in April.
But his agent
was June, July.
But his agent was everywhere looking for a club.
No, he wanted to leave. That's facts now. He wanted to leave. It doesn't mean that if he had gone to another team, then he would have resumed.
It's still a disrespect.
Listen, what I said was,
yes,
Ronaldo did not turn up for preseason out of disrespect.
Guess what? He didn't turn up for preseason.
It is even
initially he didn't turn up for preseason because he had a family issue.
Let's put it on record. But what he did yesterday was disrespectful.
When you drag it on like he did in preseason, what you're doing is you're trying to force him.
I'll tell you why I think that Ronaldo has been disrespectful to Ten Hag and the football club and his teammates. 2 weeks before preseason ended, Cristiano says to the media, in 2 weeks I'm going to make a press conference and tell everybody, the lies that I've been told. I have a notebook. You understand?
And we're all waiting.
You
said it here.
Didn't happen.
Yeah?
Didn't happen.
So that's disrespectful.
Hold on. That was I think a week before the season started, right? And Ronaldo knew. You see, look, Ronaldo has been in the spotlight since he was 18. So he's had about 20 years to understand what he says and what he doesn't say, when he smiles and when he doesn't smile, his gesticulations affect the headlines. See, he knows the power he wields. To create that kind of attention around a new manager who at a time is at his most feeble. Matter of fact, the season has started and they have just lost the first 2 games.
But that's unfair.
Hold on.
You cannot say he was the one that creates the attention. Ronaldo is Ronaldo. The attention is there.
No, but
if he has a problem, listen, wait. If he has a problem, you're not. See, Ronaldo is Ronaldo. If he has a problem, if he doesn't come out and say the reason I have not resumed preseason is because there's this, there's that.
Did you watch the Gary
media
Neville?
Is going to create what they are going to create anyway.
Did you watch Neville Carragher sit down with Ten Hag? Jamie asked, accept Jamie like I know him. Right. Carragher asked, Ten Hag, said, why would Ronaldo say things like that? Ten Hag said, honestly, I don't know I don't know the reason he would say things like that.
Say what?
Why he has made that announcement that he's going to make.
Yeah.
But
when you say I'm going to say something, he's not talking to the club. He's talking about the lies in the media.
It is unnecessary.
Should I make a point?
What do you mean it's unnecessary?
Let me tell you.
Okay, what did you do?
They said you have not come back to preseason because you want to leave. You have not come back to preseason because you're disrepresenting the club. And somebody says, I'm going to make a statement and tell the truth about the lies that have been told in the media.
So have the truth.
He wasn't talking about the team.
Hold on.
Okay.
So have the truths now become lesser truths? Why hasn't he told the truth? Because if it's the truth that he wanted to say,
look.
Then you go ahead and say regardless.
He has not said anything. The point I'm making is, I don't agree that him making that statement is disrespectful to the club
It's
or the
selfish.
coach.
No, it is selfish. It is selfish. He's thinking about himself.
What are you talking about?
He's thinking about himself.
See.
And this is my problem with Ronaldo. And I love Ronaldo, the footballer. But Ronaldo, the character,
No.
it's not great.
On what basis?
let's-
this
let's-
statement you have made. This statement you have made.
Don't divert.
Let's not cross the
Don't
divide.
divert.
The
See,
great
what I'm
divide.
saying, wait, Rufai now. Let me make example now.
Leave Rufai
You are
hand
a
now.
new coach. No, make it here. Because they invest me. They invest me. You are a new coach. Yeah, now you are a new coach. You just got the biggest job of your career. You know how difficult it is to coach a traditional club like Man United. And the next thing, you have someone like Cristiano Ronaldo,
Cultural club.
who is still under a contract with the club, and he didn't even communicate with you once.
How do you know he didn't communicate?
He said it now. Ten Hag came out to say it.
Wait, Ten Hag said what?
There was no communication yet.
That's a lie.
Look, they were
Ten
conversations.
Hag never said there was no communication. As a matter of fact, what was reported was that the club accepted his reason for not resuming
There
to
was
preseason.
there was no.
That was what was reported.
Rufai,
See.
now we would miss our steps if we try to walk back every press conference.
No.
Hold on a sec.
Understand the point I made.
That would be giving.
The thing is that Rufai no even
That would
condemn.
give him
Now
quality
it's too
much
first
work.
vex me.
What do you mean no condemn?
My-
I
I don't
said
even
what he did
condemn that
yesterday was
act.
disrespectful, but I don't agree that he did not turn up for preseason out of disrespect. That's what I don't agree with.
Why didn't
Rufai,
he
But
turn
his
up for
agents
the
was all over.
All
Was
the
everywhere
sto-
looking for a
all
club.
the-
You are
Is that
looking
not-
for a
someone under a contract?
Oh my!
The agent has to do what
The
he has
agent
to
will
do.
do what they will do.
Look.
I want to leave this club. The agent will look for a club.
Ronaldo knew from the moment Ten Hag got there that he didn't want to be there because he didn't want to go to
Can I
Champions
make a
League.
point now?
Rufai,
Can I make a
Rufai,
point? This thing people are saying, Ronaldo knew. If the club knew that, oh, this guy lost a child in April, preseason is June, July. This is why he can't resume because he has family issues and he has communicated. Why didn't the club also communicate to the media when the club knew? So what we're saying now is Ronaldo is at fault for not communicating with the media.
Listen.
But the club is not.
No. Ini, hold on a sec. Ten Hag always told the media that Ronaldo is away for family reasons.
So why are we now saying
Can
Ronaldo
you-
was disrespectful?
Listen, now I'm not the person you're fighting. I'm only reporting what was reported.
But you guys are saying he was
Hold on.
disrespectful for not resuming preseason.
Hold on. Ten Hag always made it clear that he has a private problem.
Exactly, end of story.
Calm down now. What's inside your
So
cup?
there was no fogginess about that. That was clear. What Ten Hag has now gone on to do is that regardless of what's happening to you, I have to do a job, right? So we accept and we sympathize or empathize with you with the private problem you have, but I have to go ahead and build a team which I've been paid and just been decided to do. What now happens is I've got to make plans with the people I see.
Yeah.
When the season starts, I have to pick the players that are fit to execute what I want to do. You cannot now, off the back of missing preseason, continue to dissent my conversations,
And
my
say you want-
my
and
decisions.
demanding for a start.
You can't still continue to demand and gesticulate at every given
Yeah.
opportunity.
If you were Ronaldo, you would do the same.
Hold
Why?
on. You are being unfair to Ten Hag.
You did not hear him.
And you know what I'm saying?
You are not part of
regardless
the
of what happened to
Rufai.
you.
Is it being unfair to the manager or not?
Yes.
First of all,
Yes or no? Is it being unfair to the manager? His general attitude and character in the past 1-2 months, is it right on the manager or not?
yesterday
No.
was disrespectful to the manager.
The last game.
I don't
What
know
about the last
about
game?
any.
The
What
last
did
game
he do in the
yesterday,
last game?
They substituted him and he was shaking his head.
So is he the first person to do that? They substituted João Felix. He did the same.
That one is the
I
normal
agree
one.
with players. I agree with players doing that. But remember, in preseason also, Ronaldo left the stadium in the Atletico Madrid game.
At that time.
So this is clear. He's trying to pull the same effects of what he did the last time. And you remember how that engulfed the process, the progress United had made in preseason. So what he has basically done again is try to pull the same trick again. Now, remember that in the game against City, it is one of the most honest things I've ever heard a football manager say. I didn't put this guy on for the respect of his career. And people, because people are cynical and dishonest, decided to read that wrong. But actually, the manager was actually being very respectful because I'm not going to throw you out there to the wolves. Because City, we're going to tear United apart.
Obviously.
I didn't think that makes sense.
No,
No, it did. It
100%
did.
makes sense.
It didn't make sense.
100% makes
But
sense.
go on.
You know,
Right?
so-
so-
but You have
So-
you see when I show you some respect, you got to give it back to me.
In UB,
That's
this
how
thing
this
you
thing
just
works.
said. This thing
because
you just
Ten Hag
said.
has every right to say, you know
I
what?
think Rivers forgot
This is
that
the right.
Ronaldo
This is the
is
right.
37.
Look,
I think
listen
Rivers
to
forgot that
something.
Ronaldo is 37.
This
My
thing you
brother,
just
that's
said.
That's the point. You
This
guys
thing
are
you just
forgetting
said.
that
This
this
thing
same
you just
Ronaldo is
said.
37.
You-
Guy,
you are
players that are
IBK,
37 have
You that
retired.
they just asked you on a space that they don't know you and they see you around that you are vexing. You are saying Ronaldo is 37. Can you be quiet and let me speak?
No.
Listen, listen.
Farabale.
I'm going to say
Bring
it again. If you were Ronaldo, you would do
Farabale.
times 10 of what Ronaldo has done.
But it's bad behavior.
That's a lie.
Now,
Is
hold
it
on.
bad behavior or not?
First of all, I said what he did was to the coach.
Rufai,
Don't go and
Rufai,
be saying,
Rufai.
yeah, Ronaldo did.
There are things
Ronaldo
that
did.
You feel
What
I
you
will not.
do?
I'll respect.
I already said
No,
what he
respect
did was
the coach.
disrespectful to the
IBK,
coach.
I
what I don't
respect
want
the
to
coach.
happen, what I don't want to happen here is to not lose the natural behavior of human beings.
yeah, of
what
course.
Ini says is what I don't agree with, in the sense that he respects the footballer, but he doesn't like the tantrums of the person,
Character.
right?
Oh, recently, not.
Okay.
It's not always
I'm
been like
happy,
that.
But you never said
No,
recently.
it's not always been
But
like
you
that.
never said
So
recently.
I'm saying that
let's
it's never been like
link
that.
Let's link that to what IBK just said. You can never say this is how I'll behave for sure.
Of course.
You can never say
can't.
it.
You
However,
can't.
you're allowed. Look, we can't censor anybody, because if we started behaving like that, then the society, you're going down a very slippery slope. When you start saying, "Oh, controlling people," but we have to be able to call out what is wrong when it's wrong.
Fact.
Now,
While not, you can't. We're not going to throw the baby at the bathwater away, right?
Because we
What
sat
Ronaldo-
here last week and we're absolutely going through the motions with Mbappe.
now
we
understand
said-
something.
Thank you.
Understand something.
Mbappe is not Ronaldo. Mbappe is not Ronaldo.
First of all,
Mbappe is not Ronaldo. But he's heading.
Let me-
He's
His
heading.
own is even worse.
He's heading.
The
the
problem
way-
with Mbappe is
His
simple.
own is even
Mbappe
worse.
Mbappe has not achieved.
My point
Mbappe has not
is-
achieved half
That's
of
what
what
I'm saying.
Ronaldo
His
has
own is
achieved,
even
and he's
worse.
behaving like a
My
like
point
a
is simple. What Ronaldo did yesterday was disrespectful to the coach, right? But I'm saying
And his
that.
teammates.
But I'm saying
And his
that.
teammate, please
I
add
don't
that.
care about his teammates. But I'm saying that.
Rufai's agenda. Eh?
But I'm saying
Rufai
that.
don't
But I'm saying that from Ronaldo. See, you like you said, you go against the City game. You say I didn't put you because I have respect for your career. But yesterday you told him to go and warm up, and then you threw on a langa.
That's not.
So now, no.
That's not a fact.
But coaches do that a
No.
lot.
You are saying the guy came out to say I didn't put you against City because I have respect for your career. Like I said, I didn't think that makes sense. A footballer is a footballer. Your game is your game, irrespective of whether you're losing 5-0, 6-0, 1-0, or 0-0. Right? But then you come out to say I didn't put you because I have respect for your career. Oh, really? But you obviously you told this guy to warm up and threw up another person.
Was he the only person that has to warm
As
up?
an unused substitute? He was not the only person, but as far as I'm concerned, the last I checked, the only Ronaldo that was there was one.
Hold
The
on.
only Cristiano Ronaldo that was there was one.
Hold on. So
And you guys are forgetting that this guy is
so-
old
so-
already. This guy
so-
is 37.
so-
I'm not talking about a player being 37 or being 24. It's
So you're
simple.
telling-
If you come out to say I didn't play you against City because I have respect for your career, so where is that respect now?
so you want Ten Hag to walk around eggshells with Ronaldo?
That's not what I've said.
Then he needs to leave before-
That's
no,
not what
no,
I've said.
no,
And
no.
also bear in mind that Ronaldo wanted to leave at first. United didn't want him to go. That's another thing.
There was no club who wanted
Yes,
to
I
pay.
think- I think
No,
that's
United
it.
didn't want him to go
I
at
think
first.
that
Now,
if Ronaldo,
which
if he got better offers,
We need to
United did not want him to go at first.
We need to take a break
The same thing
soon,
to Juventus.
because
he left
no.
Juventus. They didn't want him to go. He left the club.
They didn't want.
Juventus
IBK,
didn't want him to
verify
go.
these things before you they talk him now.
IBK.
They verify these
Juventus never wanted
things.
him to leave.
IBK,
Oh my
IBK,
God.
IBK, now we didn't even, but soon we'll plenty pass you.
No. Juventus didn't want him
Small
to
time will
leave.
plenty pass
What are you
you.
saying?
You get.
When Juventus before he come out, they don't
let's
talk say
not-
na
no,
him.
no.
They
Let's not do that.
That one are fans. That one are
IBK,
fans.
let's-
No be
let-
club.
let-
That
players
one are
said
fans.
it.
No be the club.
Gentlemen,
That one are fans, no be the
gentlemen,
club.
let's not do that thing where people do on Twitter and other spaces where you go from pillar to post in conversations.
verify
Let's
things
stick,
before
let's
you
stick,
say
let's
them.
stick with
That
that.
one are fans. No be the club.
Hold on.
Juventus never wanted Ronaldo to leave.
Make we bet.
Let's stick with the agenda.
Do you have Pavel Nedved?
Let's talk
Oh, phone.
You have Pavel
My
Nedved.
brother.
I'm bored, man.
Give me for Boku
Say I'm
Gugu.
a bored
Give me
man.
for Boku
If I
Gugu.
slap you, eh?
Give me for Boku Gugu.
You know, he's a married man, so anything he has his wife's own too. Yeah. You know, I was asking me. So this is what
madam.
Alpha. He said, in the good thing, he said that my wife watch you. I said that car where you play. I know.
So your phone is iPhone too.
Konima no dey yeah, so any one thing, if I say, you give me this thing, I say, I'm going to get a hold.
But honestly, even Ronaldo got better offer. It would not be.
I'm telling you,
Baba,
the facts that
what me I know about the game at the professional level is that you don't owe anybody anything and no club owes you anything.
Yes.
Right? And nobody's loyal to anybody.
So he too doesn't owe them anything.
So Ronaldo, if Ronaldo had a
under
chance,
contract.
if the Napoli thing,
So he owes
if the Napoli thing, if the
you know
Napoli
they're
thing,
showing up on a game day and they don't use them. He say, our head out now.
look,
This revive go be like Ronaldo when he go play.
if the Napoli thing materialized, Ronaldo would have been at Napoli. You understand? Having a fantastic time. But you know what? So, but the thing is, see, for me, and Biola says it very well, when you pull that kind of stunt, make sure that at the end of when the bell
leave.
rings on that 11:30,
You leave.
you are out of the football club. Or anything where your eyes from there, take them.
But why?
But guess what? But guess what?
January is
Don't be
still
saying
far,
one
sha.
disrespect. I want you to come preseason.
No, you see, that's something I do in the moment. I don't think it's respectful. But when the council of elders sit down and point it
But have
out,
we also considered
I have to
something?
admit that I was a bit wrong there.
Have we also considered something? That this thing was saying, I think it is because now Ronaldo's standards where he don't set in the course of his career. Now why would he hold him like this? Because if it was another player,
Nobody dragging for not scoring
no.
goals.
No, when Tevez
We're not
did
saying
it.
scoring
When
goals.
Tevez
We're not
did
saying
it.
scoring
When
goals.
Tevez did it
Because
too,
if it was
everyone
another
kicked
They didn't go
player,
around, got Tevez,
listen.
I beg, don't do that,
Because
don't do that.
if it was another player
I love
that
Tevez, but
that said, I think I need some time because I just lost a child. I don't think we'll be quizzing them like this.
Rufai, no one person on this table and not in the future would say that Ronaldo did not deserve time.
No, but I've said it multiple times, and you guys keep bringing the same thing of him not coming to preseason again.
If you are not available for preseason, then try and understand that you need to work your way to the team.
Yes,
That's what he's saying.
But
Listen,
the man has left the stadium because he has not played even as a substitute.
Wale,
He has not said he must
hold
start.
on, hold
is
on.
wrong.
I'm going to share it to you.
I'm not saying what he did was right.
Put it out. Put it out. When Casemiro joined United, the expectation is that you must play him.
Throw him into the
What
game.
ETH has done is consistent with what he has done with all the players. He has shown that if you did not train in preseason with me, I am not going to feed you to the dogs. And you're not going to be able to execute what I want.
The few games they put
So,
Casemiro, he was
When they put
shaky.
the first few games they put Casemiro before he was ready, he was under
said-
fraud watch.
Do you think Ronaldo has been placed on the same standard?
Hold on. Ronaldo is placed on the standard because he's the GOAT.
No. This same standard you said they've used
think
for
he should-
Casemiro.
you think he should game?
No. This same thing that you said they've used for Casemiro. Do you think Ronaldo has been placed on the same standard?
Casemiro has not gone out to say. Casemiro has not seen them bring up the substitution board and Fred is on and thrown an arm. At
So-
ev-
And
at every
Casemiro is
point,
big
no,
as well.
at
Casemiro
every-
is actually
Casemiro
big
is-
but it also takes one.
if someone like McTominay can be starting ahead of him, if
And
Casemiro
it's
wanted
funny-
to play the Ronaldo
it's funny,
card,
one of the
he would
guys
also-
Just
he would
came
also
to
he
the
would
club now.
One of the guys on
He's
Twitter.
not a Manchester
it's
United
Casemiro.
legend.
Casemiro is a big.
He's not a
big
Manchester
figure.
United legend.
IBK, now me bring Casemiro come this talk.
This is
no spoiler.
No spoiler.
Don't spoil my agenda. I'm setting a strong precedent here.
Why you come now?
Why you
Come do
over there
this.
plenty past me? I still have it on my side.
You need a shake. You need
You know
a
what I'm
shake.
I'm there with you, Gidi Bang.
We're doing this together. So you get, but in the end, for me, I think that you have to be fair to the manager. I said
agree.
I tweeted 2 weeks ago, and it was the Everton game. Casemiro wasn't ready to start, but there was, and you know, people say, oh, football players and managers don't listen to what happens in the media. They do. The agenda has started to build that. Why do you sign Casemiro? So somebody wrote an article, I think it was on the Athletic or something like that, or one of these popular pages, that ETH didn't actually want Casemiro. That it was forced on him on the club. And you can tell that those kind of things, you can ignore it, you can act like you don't see it, but it will ultimately, it has the tendency to scuttle your reign, especially when you're not getting results. So what ETH did was play Casemiro. And that game, he was at fault for the first goal. He wasn't up to speed. Fast forward a couple of weeks on, Casemiro is the best player in the last 3 games for United. I was watching the game yesterday and I thought, this guy is unplayable.
Don't forget. And
know,
by the way, make I just
we'll talk about it. We have to go on the break. What to go on the break?
Wait.
Have you joined? Yeah. Okay, cool. We have to go on the break.
Don't me go start them. Don't be crazy.
Is there any other person on this thing?
Okay, then start with them. Maybe they are there.
Give me.
Right. So, I think that I've watched Casemiro now. I think it's unplayable. So you have to allow the manager, because in the end, we sit down here with fancy, wristwatches and whatnot, and speak about the good game. And that's in it.
Fancy ritual. I don't get that.
It's in it. You understand? Because you are wearing a wristwatch that looks like the face of a car on this stage. I say you don't have money.
I think managers.
Disclaimer: I don't have money.
I think managers they know why they are being called managers. Let me just give an example of
Let me
give you an example of this Lake United stuff. So we have about 27 players. So there was
That's
a time,
a big squad.
Yeah, there was a time I spoke with the coach and I said,
they pay them?
Yes, they are being paid. I told the coach that some of these players are not. Why are we paying them? Like, the way the league is. No. Like they are not getting playing time. Like, you don't understand. They are not getting playing time. I don't see them play at all.
So that means you shouldn't pay them.
I'm not saying you shouldn't pay them, but I feel that they are surplus to requirement. Like, we could get players who, when you throw them in, they perform immediately.
60.
So the coach told me one thing. The coach said that. The coach said that. That time the coach said that IBK, we cannot send these guys away because there will be a time we will need them. I was like, I've seen these guys. I don't think they are good enough. So there was a game that one of the regulars, got injured, and he brought on this particular guy. Bro, this guy was actually really, really good. So I now went to go and I met the coach and I said, bro, I'm very, very sorry. Because if it was me, I would have told him to leave. So the coach was like, now I can see that there are some things that they would see, they are working on, but we that are watching it, we won't realize that this is what. And that's why they get paid.
That's why they get the big bucks.
That's why they get paid. And the same thing you are telling Rufai that allow a manager to do it. He knows what. So he knows what he has to do.
I've made many points.
Move to 3 p.m.
Go to 3 p.m. Oh, fantastic.
UB made a point and said, someone wrote an article that ETH probably didn't even want Casemiro, was forced on him. Now, we don't have... And bear in mind, I said what Ronaldo did yesterday, I thought was disrespectful to the manager. Because initially when he left the stadium, I was going to come with a light-hearted comment that, bros, you see, we don't know whether this guy go answer call of nature. But he left the stadium. So it's disrespectful. But I'm saying, we've always talked about, Ronaldo, Messi, this thing that they've done, this is, they've earned the right to this, they've earned the right to that. I'm not saying they've earned the right to disrespect the manager or disrespect the club, right? But well reported that I know very well, Ronaldo made it clear he wanted to leave. At first, United didn't want him to go. Before United accepted and the conversation started happening, it was later on in the transfer window. But aside that, if the coach says, I think there might be conversations behind the scenes where Ronaldo knows that with this coach, it feels like there's nothing I can do to get this starting 11 that I want. And because he is Ronaldo, he will throw tantrums. Maybe like the kind of tantrums that other players that are not Ronaldo won't do. Because we've seen this thing happen with other managers where the player knows that this is where the manager is, this is what he wants to do, and it feels like there's nothing I can do that will make me get this starting position that I want. Because
like Lukaku,
you
right?
made a point, like Lukaku, some under Tuchel at Chelsea as well. You made a point of, someone said this guy didn't even want Casemiro, was forced on him. And I said, the way ETH has integrated Casemiro into the team, do you think he has given Ronaldo the same this thing? Because Casemiro didn't even play preseason with United. But he came on, he integrated him gradually. But now Casemiro is a starter. Ronaldo didn't start preseason with United. He came before preseason ended, right? And they've started the season. Has he gone from, let's integrate him gradually?
Yes, he has.
Has he trained enough to be the starter? Because I've said multiple times that the only thing I've heard about, United want to press and Ronaldo can't do it. That's why Ronaldo is not playing. And I don't see United doing any significant pressing.
Hold on.
I don't.
Hold on.
I still think he's their best goal scorer. So is he not playing because he's older? If that's the case, so Ronaldo is thinking there's nothing I can do that will get the starting share of this team.
I honestly don't think you've watched Ronaldo the way I've watched him this season. I'm a United fan, so I can tell you for sure that I've watched the games Ronaldo has played. I think that Ronaldo has been integrated fairly into the team.
Okay.
ETH has gone and said, look, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to bring you in up to speed. Let's bear in mind now, this guy's 37.
Yes.
When United,
Silva is 37 or 38 too.
he's not playing as a striker.
Yeah,
But he's playing as a defender.
Hold on. When Ronaldo...
easier.
it's more
it's easier.
demanding.
It's easier.
It's easier.
Yeah.
It's not easier.
Oh my God.
It's not easier. The word easier
No,
is not a kind word.
not easier, but
A striker is more demanding.
But defenders
More
that are
demanding.
Do strikers have protection in front of them?
Oh my God.
It's more demanding for a striker.
That's another conversation
No,
entirely.
let's try it another
Yes.
time.
Let's
more
try
demanding.
let's
Yeah, for a striker.
try another time. Right.
Moving on.
Strikers constantly make runs. Defenders don't constantly make runs.
and they even retire early.
So when the striker they make run for my own post, who they run? Who they pursue the striker?
More so you have protection and you're working in the back three. Let's not start that. Let's not start that. You get. But the point is, ETH has been very, very patient with Ronaldo in bringing him in. Right? He brought him in gradually, systematically. And if you're a United fan watching now, right, you could put on that in the comments. Every time Ronaldo has played United's game, except the Everton game, United dynamic changed considerably. Is he the best goal scorer of the football team? Yes, he is. But how about the process before he gets his goal scoring? The game against Newcastle, when Ronaldo got taken off and Rashford came on, immediately there was an opportunity to start passing into space.
about 3 chances, yeah.
Right? What it means is that you can't play to fit anymore. You can afford to play into space. And the dynamic changes entirely. Ronaldo, I watched him play, and I think that he blows his gasket easily. The moment Ronaldo makes one, 2, 3 runs, that's it for the next 10 minutes.
Don't get me wrong. Look, I'm not saying Ronaldo.
That's it.
Bro, take
Look,
him.
I'm not
Take
saying.
him.
Look, I'm not saying
You don't
Ronaldo
know
is
how
good.
to talk and finish.
You know, Ronaldo is
I'm not
good.
saying.
No, I'm not saying.
Look, I'm not saying
That's why I
Ronaldo
said
has
not
to
just
play.
old already.
I'm not saying Ronaldo has to play every game. What I'm saying is, does this in that team right now, does it have enough quality to be an important? And when I say important, I'm not saying, look, I must play every game just because I'm Ronaldo. But I don't see that team playing Ronaldo in the case of he's our best goal scorer. We're going to find the best solution to put him in the best position to get the goals that we need.
But you're not going to start a season under a new manager trying to shoehorn a player. The new manager comes in and the first thing he must do
the pressure.
is win. The first thing he must do is win. And while winning, he must start embedding the principles of play across the board.
And there has to be trust.
What you
from players.
cannot do is
No,
in your first
there has to be
weeks.
trust across board.
You cannot in your first weeks start shoehorning players. You are setting yourself up for problems.
Nobody is saying
What you
she
need
won
to
anybody.
do is create a system.
Which
Whoever
is the point
falls
I'm
into the
making.
system would be better for the team going forward. What United have done in the last 5 years is pander to player strength as opposed to building
The managers,
systems.
yeah.
No, but that's not entirely accurate. The reason it is not entirely accurate is this: you can build systems, right? But when a new manager comes in, more so when you come into a club like United, trying to build a system doesn't negate the fact that you need to win immediately. And that's why in your trying to build a system, right, you are very open to working with the strength of the player. What United has done in recent times before ETH is not looking or working towards the strength of those players. It is pandering to the emotions of those players. That's what they've done before ETH.
It's one and the same thing.
No, it's not. Because Martial says, I want to play as a number 9. I want the number 9 share. United say, oh yeah, if we don't give him, he'll be sad. No. Rashford says, I want to be a striker. Yeah, if we don't give him, he'll be sad. When we all know this guy is not a striker. That's what they've done. But if they had gone, no, I'm just telling you that what is not entirely accurate. If they have gone to the strength of the players in trying to build a winning system, in the process of building the philosophy that they want to play with, they won't be where they are. What they've done is they've pandered to the emotions of players.
We spent 1 hour speaking about Ronaldo.
Yes.
Right? And I can tell you for free. When Ronaldo plays for United, at the moment, and I told somebody last week on Twitter that I think Ronaldo should do double figures at United. But at the moment, the best solution is January 1st.
Leave.
Off you go.
But that's what
Find yourself a football team and get away.
which is what would work for everybody.
And going forward, for me, ETH has to now read out the right ask to the guy. Look, this is the football team I manage. You're Cristiano, the GOAT. I don't mistake that for anything, but you cannot do that in my dressing room anymore.
I dare say Ronaldo leaves that team. We'll hear the actual situation of what happened behind the scenes.
Let's wait till then. But for now, be respectful to the manager and respect your teammates.
And that's the thing now.
That's it.
If there's something happening behind the scenes, if you are in there, you can't say that you have to be respectful because of what the media will do. It is what you are reacting to, what is happening that everybody are not seeing.
Does ETH lie? Are you saying ETH lie? Every time ETH has spoken to the media, I said, what he's telling me is different from what we're reading in the papers. He has said it once, twice, he said it at least 5 times. He said, when I talk to him, I see a happy guy. Mm-hmm. Right? So except Ronaldo...
Except the manager is lying.
Except Ronaldo is lying. Manager is lying. Or Ronaldo is afraid of ETH's face. And when he sees him in person...
Which we know that is not the case.
And so...
that one we know.
ETH will not lie. If you don't Dutch people, right?
What do you mean Dutch people? What are you about to say?
If you don't Dutch people...
They have...
Dutch people are straight.
So that is to say that ETH cannot lie.
No, I'm not saying he cannot lie. But I'm telling you, there's no need to lie. Right? Anyway, that's
except
that
Ronaldo.
Right? But I thought United played very well yesterday, right?
Knocking somebody.
So you know be Dutch. That Bariga boy.
I thought United played very well yesterday.
And this is to put it out there. I am sorry to everybody. I said I was going to do this. I'm sorry for saying Spurs had enough to win the league.
They don't.
No,
I'm sorry.
I don't think Spurs can win the league.
Defensively, they are a shambles.
It was very embarrassing and very childish of me.
I
thought it was United's best game.
I said it too, and I still stand by my word.
Is that the team that you said out?
I think it'll be close.
JB security guy.
I told him yesterday.
They'll be close.
What Spurs don't do.
It's not that bad.
What contest teams don't do. Contest teams don't dominate the big games.
Have you seen Conte's post match?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
He said when the level is high, we struggle.
Yeah.
And
it's because of
that is scary.
Let me tell you why that United game.
Let me tell you why.
It's not a star problem.
Let me tell you why that United game yesterday.
I think it's a style problem.
It's not.
I think it's a style problem.
It is not.
Because when you have the amount of talent, attacking talent, you know, Tottenham have got, and I still look at.
Do you think the problem yesterday was sitting back?
Guess what?
They were sitting back. It wasn't now.
No, but against Arsenal, I said to myself, Arsenal played really well. You know, they started the game, really took the game to Tottenham. If Tottenham started the game that way, you know, take the game to Arsenal with Son, you know, the Croatian guy came. Do you think that game ends in that way? I think it's the way they start games. And they start games in a way that, you know, I saw Tottenham against Everton over the weekend. They won 2-0. A better team could have beaten them. Every time Everton had the ball, Tottenham had 11 players behind the ball.
Yes.
They sat very deep. Every time Everton had the ball, every Tottenham player was inside the Tottenham half. And that's not how big teams play. Everton.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
That's scary.
If they were sitting back, if truly the problem in that United game was that they sat back, right? If they were sitting back and each individual players had a good game against United, they wouldn't have lost. That result flattered Tottenham. It could have been 4-5.
Yeah, true.
Nil. So if they were sitting back and each Tottenham player had a good game, they wouldn't have lost like that.
You already know me.
What I'm saying is that I don't think they take advantage of the attacking talent
I'm
enough.
saying that okay, so for example, the game yesterday, why that game was a damning indictment. Thank you. I celebrate you. You still maybe might have lost to United, but I expected a more
respectful performance.
At least give more.
I feel that every time I watch Tottenham, I just feel like the manager set them up in a way that we've got great players in the final third. We're going to sit and contain the opponent and hope that in that game, for 90 minutes,
There'll be counter.
those attacking players can come through for us.
But it is not.
That's what I don't.
It is not the manager's setup.
I don't think that's the case.
It is not the manager's setup
I
that
don't
will
see-
stop players from being able to
In
make
a scene-
simple passes.
Remember what I said last week about Arsenal? The 9 games before the Leeds game last week, the 9 games Arsenal have played, Arsenal have started the game with gung-ho. We take the ball and go to the opponent. The only team that has started the game better than Arsenal was Leeds United last week, and they almost beat
That
Arsenal.
match against United, Arsenal didn't start as well.
No, we started well. We scored a goal.
They didn't start.
Arsenal started well.
We always start well games
Arsenal
well.
started well. They didn't start as
Against
well as they
Leeds,
used to.
no, against Leeds United,
Man U?
against
Man U defeated them now.
Yeah.
They didn't start as well as they started the
Wait,
season.
against Leeds United, Leeds took the ball. They were pressing Arsenal. They stayed like that for all through the game. If Tottenham play like that, maybe you say maybe they don't have the players with the legs to be able to chase. But if Tottenham take the ball and go to the opponents early on in the game, they probably score 1 or 2
If they
goals
had
in the
done,
first.
if they played like that against United, maybe they would have lost 6.
So it has to be clear, right?
You're overrating this United defense.
Newcastle,
No, but you are underrating United on the counter.
Newcastle's. I think I saw a stat that Newcastle are in the top 2 or top 3 most physical teams in the Premier League. They run. They are in top 3 for running and covering distances, right? United outwork Newcastle,
Yeah.
right? And at the end of the game, Newcastle players were having cramps, and United were still going. Now, what that tells me, right? What that tells me is that
They carry start.
what that tells me is that Ten Hag's work, and I'm not.
They work hard.
I'm not trying to blow Ten Hag up because he hasn't done anything yet, right? Except win Liverpool, Arsenal, and
Arteta is
Tottenham,
still better than
right?
him.
Of course, right? Not
So you
in
guys
the
can
Premier
say
League,
this.
but not in his career.
Oh,
Because
Arteta don't-
what
they don't-
Ten
they
Hag has
don't
done in his career,
respect.
can't touch.
Arteta don't dare respect on this city.
Right? No.
If Ten Hag win
Arteta don't dare
every
respect for you.
And, let's see, that's all smart football people want. And the respect, we're not going to hand
You
it
think what
to
will be
you.
insulting him every day?
You get so
When you
so-
when
so-
you don't pass your exam before, when your advice
get
not to you,
earn the
you say that
respect.
make you for fail
So
continuously.
with Ten Hag, right? What it tells me is that the team is underreported in terms of how hard they're working.
They're working.
Because they have worked Tottenham as well, right? So that's 2 consecutive games against 2 very physically imposing teams, and they've outworked those teams. Now the problem I have with that style, which is what everybody says is the popular style, which is why I disagree with me, and say, oh, because Conte set his team up in a way, that's not the problem.
not.
If the players execute that system,
I've forgotten Conte won the league with that same system.
yeah, did. If the
Better
players
players.
execute that system, then it becomes a better system.
So now you know.
How do United beat Liverpool? They worked hard in the same system.
Worked hard.
They worked hard in the same system. So United set up deep, set up with respect. But
why didn't
in
they
the
work?
key
But why
areas,
didn't they work hard
as-
against Man City?
I remember.
Man City is superior
No, but
team.
they worked
Man-
hard.
no, Man City
That
is
game
superior
ended
team.
what? Oh,
No.
sorry.
First half was terrible.
They work hard. They don't just reach.
You know, Rich, you understand? Man City are doing standards for years. You understand?
They don't just reach.
You know,
Sometimes you know. You don't.
if
just
you
reach.
if you try and put up a podcast, put a couple of guys together.
You understand?
You're not.
But it's not the hindsight
It's not the
podcast.
hindsight podcast. You're not. You think it's a game? You take some time. We're 3 years ahead of the
Be
game.
easy, do am.
You get 3 years ahead of the game. So you'd have to put in
No,
more
this is
work.
not 3 years ahead of the game. This is 7-10 years in.
Yeah, no. I like to be respectful, right? I like to be respectful.
Only nothing did this cup again. Nothing they have-
The funny thing, what Wale doesn't do is
That's Wale like that.
that off shot.
Just they take empty
I look the
this
cup, say, nothing in this cup again.
Wale don't cast us.
Wale don't cast off shots. There's nothing in this cup
I better go
again.
bring water.
The cup not empty. But anyway,
I remember that goal. The second goal United scored yesterday, I think it was a counter by United. And when United scored that goal, United had, I think it was about just
this
three
coming United show,
Tottenham,
man.
just 3 Tottenham players that were in the Tottenham box at the time Bruno scored that second goal. Yeah. So you can't tell me that they sat so deep was why they played badly against. I saw a game where people like Højbjerg, Bissouma couldn't play simple passes. It was that bad.
There is that. But let's leave United alone. I mean, we'll keep an eye on United and what they do going forward. It's looking good now. United play Chelsea next, right?
Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching this episode of the Hindsight Podcast. Please follow us on all our social media platforms on Instagram Twitter and Facebook. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. Comments, please. We want to hear from you. Keep in touch with the best podcast. Thank you.